Welcome to the realm of fantasy and adventure. In this video, we're going to embark on an epic journey through the most anticipated fantasy games of 2024. We've handpicked the top 7 fantasy games set to release in 2024, each with its unique blend of storytelling, gameplay, and immersive experiences. So, buckle up, fellow gamers, as we dive into the future of gaming. Let's get started. Avowed is a first-person fantasy RPG developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Xbox Game Studios. The game is set in the fictional world of Eora, which was first introduced in the Pillars of Eternity franchise. In the game, you play as the envoy of Eder, a distant land, and your mission is to investigate rumors of a spreading plague. The game takes place in the Living Lands, a mysterious island filled with adventure and danger. The Living Lands is home to many different environments and landscapes, each with their own unique ecosystem. The game features a variety of spells, allowing players to perform feats such as freezing enemies in ice. Players can use magic, melee weapons, and firearms to defeat enemies. The game also allows for a mix and match of swords, spells, guns, and shields. Companions from a spread of species will fight alongside you, each with their own unique set of abilities. The game contains realistic violence against intelligent species, wildlife, and fantastical creatures. It also contains mature themes, drug and alcohol references, and sexual references. The player may also participate in drug and alcohol use with their companions. Black Myth: Wukong is an upcoming action role-playing game developed by Game Science. Rooted in Chinese mythology, the game's story is based on Journey to the West, one of the 4 great classical novels of Chinese literature. As the Destined One, players will venture into a fascinating realm filled with the wonders and discoveries of ancient Chinese mythology. The game promises breathtaking landscapes and uncharted adventures, creating a new epic tale. One of the major highlights of the game is its diverse cast of adversaries, each with unique strengths. Players will engage in epic battles where surrender is not an option. Aside from mastering various staff techniques, players can also freely combine different spells, abilities, weapons, and equipment to find the winning strategy that best suits their combat style. The game is set to release on August 19, 2024. The Fable is an upcoming game that promises to bring a fresh perspective to the beloved franchise. The game is being developed by Playground Games, known for their work on the Forza Racing series. This marks a new direction for the developer, transitioning from racing games to a fantasy RPG. The remake is a complete overhaul of the original Fable, The Lost Chapters, and Fable Anniversary games. It features updated graphics, a retold plot, enhanced gameplay mechanics, and entirely new elements to increase both the role-playing and action elements of the game. The game is set in the whimsical realm of Albion, a distinctly British, dark comedy-tinged fantasy world with a heavy focus on moral choice. The game's release date has not been announced yet, but it will be available on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and PC. The Fable remake is expected to retain the humorous spirit of Lionhead's previous games in the series. Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn is an upcoming action role-playing game developed by A44 Games and published by Kepler Interactive. The game is set to be released in Q3 2024. The game is played from a third-person perspective and the player assumes control of Norvanek, a member of a coalition who must save mankind from extinction by fighting against the old gods. In Flintlock, the player can use melee weapons and flintlock firearms to attack enemies. The game features a challenging yet rewarding combat system that blends axe-wielding, gunplay, and magic. The player will be accompanied by Enki, a mysterious fox-like creature. Enki can be commanded to distract or stun enemies, teleport the player, or infuse Norse attacks with magic. The open world of Flintlock is divided into 3 different regions. Players can partake in different side activities, which may change the state of the game's world and its population. As players complete quests and explore the world, they will meet other non-playable characters. The game is set to be released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. Greedfall 2: The Dying World is an exciting sequel to the popular role-playing game Greedfall. This game is developed by Spiders and published by Nacon. The story of Greedfall 2 is a prequel, taking place 3 years before the events of the first game. Players will assume the role of a Tir-Fradi native who is uprooted from their island and is taken to the continent of Kakain. This continent has been decimated by both war and the Malachar Plague. The developers promise bigger and more diverse environments, new companions, and new factions. Greedfall 2: The Dying World is expected to appeal to fans of role-playing games, great stories, action, and fantasy. New Ark Line is an upcoming single-player, story-rich RPG developed by Dream8 and published by Fulcrum. The game is set in a fantasy world undergoing a technological revolution, similar to the United States on the brink of the 20th century. The game takes place in the shining metropolis of New Ark, a city attracting millions of immigrants, mages, and technologists of various races who arrive by steamboats and zeppelins in search of a better life. However, beneath the city's golden facade, social tensions are mounting. Segregation, inequality, and corruption run rampant, and a civil war is looming. In this world, technology and magic are incompatible. One obeys the natural laws, while the other rips them apart. As a player, you will have to affect how the inhabitants of this world treat you. Senua's Saga: Hellblade 2 is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Ninja Theory and published by Xbox Game Studios. It is the sequel to the award-winning game Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. The game is set in the myth and torment of Viking Iceland, where the protagonist, Senua, embarks on a brutal journey of survival with the intent to save those who have fallen victim to the horrors of tyranny. The game involves a battle of overcoming the darkness within and without. It carries over the concepts and gameplay elements of its predecessor, including permadeath, utilizing puzzles and runes to advance, and an examination of Senua's mental state. A new fighting system, more dynamic and realistic than the previous one, will also be included in the game. The game goes deeper into the Norse mythology and history that served as inspiration for the narrative. It takes place in Iceland, and Ninja Theory has collaborated with Scandinavian folk music band Highland for the game's soundtrack. The game is scheduled to release for Windows and Xbox Series X and S. The game is a third-person action-adventure game with more complex combat and a wider variety of opponents. It was announced in December 2019 at the Game Awards 2019. The game's mature content description indicates that it is intended for a mature audience.